Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin a year before the halving in history. So the next Bitcoin halving that is coming is on the 27th of April 2024. Right now we are in 2023. So 2023, we want to see for the previous years, a year before the Bitcoin halving, what happens. So let's get straight into it. Let's analyze Bitcoin a little bit. So I'm already at a monthly time frame, right? There's an indicator that you can look for, Bitcoin halving events. Click it. Ta-da! The next Bitcoin halving will be coming on the 27th of April. So let's go to 27th of April. Let's just go to, where's this? 2024. Let's go to May. How about that? Okay, now let's just go to April. All right, so let's put a yellow for this. It's a bit too bright. Okay, this is just nice, I think. Okay, so this will be the next Bitcoin halving. We are closing in. So now we want to look at the year before Bitcoin halving, which means that for us, it's 2023. So let's put a... Let's turn this into a blue color so we can see the difference. Let's turn it to blue. All right. Da-ba-dee-da-ba-da. And then after that, we go to 1st of January 2024. Wait, bro. Okay, no, it's okay. We go to January 2024. Ta-da! 1 year before, right? So we go to the previous halving, which is at May 2020. We go 1 year before it, right? We go from 1st of January 2019 until the 31st, right? Here again, 1st of January 2015 to the 31st of December. Okay, 1st of January 2016, right? Same thing over here. 1st of January, oh sorry, this is 2012. 1st of January 2011. 1st of January, bro, this is February. 1st of February. So, sorry, 1st of January, right? So, there we go. If you look at the years prior to Bitcoin halving, right? Usually right after the year ends, right? This is clue number one. Right after the year ends, what happens in the halving that came in 2012? Right as 2012 Happy New Year comes into play, things go parabolic. Right after we come into 1st of January 2012, right? Right after that. Again, same thing over here. Right after January 2016 comes into play, we go crazy, right? Again, at the same time, yes, there was a dip over here, the Corona dip. But after that, there was a that came, right? So could this be the same thing? I think we can expect the same thing to happen over here. But the thing is, you have to notice that the halving is getting closer and closer and closer to January. You see this? So yeah, it might happen sooner rather than later though. Anyway, my point being that the moment the year 2024 starts, the likelihood of things going parabolic is very high because it has happened for the halvings that came before. So I mean, you can always make moves before January, right? But my point is that more likely than not, right? Because it's already happened 3 times for the past 3 halving. Bitcoin goes parabolic right after the year starts, right? So we are also expecting this to happen. Another clue that we have for Bitcoin halving, right? Clue number 2, the 2 clues for Bitcoin halving would be the MACD, right? If you look at the histogram, the moment we start getting light red, right? Histogram tells you what has happened. It doesn't tell you what's going to happen. But the higher the time frames that you go to, the less the noise you will encounter. So for Bitcoin, on March 2019, once things started right over here. Okay, let me just increase this. Okay, do you see this? Right, when March 2019 roll around, right? February, March, what happened? That's it. The bottom came in, right? When you first see light rate, right? I mean, of course, again, this is a lagging indicator. In October 2012, pump, the first light rate came in, right? But of course, at this point of time, we dropped lower before we continue higher, right? So in my opinion, I think that the safest thing to do over here will be to wait for the second light rate histogram, right, to appear first. And then on the third histogram, only then do you make your entries, right? One, two, third one, right? Then only do you make your entries pump before it rises, right? Let's go back a little bit further. Let's go to this one, right? Again, if you were to go in right as this happened, you would be around the same though, to be honest. It wouldn't make much difference, but even if you were to go in here, right, you still would have caught the super duper bullish rise that came, right? It rose, Bitcoin rose 84x, 8,400%, right? So, yeah. Okay. Then what you do is you come here again. Okay, the MACD is not here. We don't have enough data for that. So we only have data up to 2022, which I think is good enough. And you can see that the first dark green has started appearing in July 2023, right? I mean, of course, there were times when dark greens appeared, right, over here, way back in 2019, right? And then after that, from top to bottom, we actually did collapse 72%, which is quite a lot. So yeah, again, if you zoom out, right, and see the bigger picture, it wouldn't really matter that much, because in the grand scheme of things, more likely than not, Bitcoin is going to be rising, right? So for most people, it's better for you to look at the bigger picture rather than to try to catch the smaller time frames that is moving bullishly and bearishly, right? Because it's gonna take more skills to handle that kind of volatility, right? On the smaller time frames, you need to really truly know what you're doing. But if you don't really know what you're doing, then yeah, I think that this is something that could be of help as Bitcoin's halving come in 2024. Moving down to the weeklies, right? Okay, there's one thing I don't really like about this, which is that we've already hit the skinny pink line. So I don't really like this because there is danger that we could still zip under the skinny pink line, right? Before we zip back up. There is that danger, but that doesn't mean it is going to happen, right? On the smaller time frames, now on the weekly, you could see that during the years, right? Let's say, for example, we halve it, right? If you were to halve this as well, right? Okay, let's halve this. So the first half of the year, right? Let's say, for example, the first pre-halving year, right? There was a very strong bullish trend that came, right? And always there will be a price to pay. The stronger the trend, the stronger the retrace, right? Let's say we take it from the very beginning to where we are. Yeah, it's about 100x, right? Which is 11,000%. And after that, what happened? Yeah, we dropped 94%. That's brutal, right? Again, the next pre-halving year that came, we went sideways. Nothing much, no big punishment, something like, sideways as well. And after that, things started getting interesting, right? As we go close towards the halving year. 1st of January, as it rolls around, yeah, that's it. This happened, right? 1st of January rolls around. So again, over here, analyzing 2019, the pre-halving year. What happened? Strong rally. Strong rallies are usually followed by a very strong correction as well, right? This wasn't the end, actually. This was another one coming down. So if you made a move over here, let's say, for example, you got in at around 7,000, we dropped to 4,000, but eventually we actually did recover. So yeah, you would have been in the green eventually. And here we are this year, which is the pre-halving year before 2024. So there was already a rally, right? But this is not a rally that is similar to this. It's not similar to this, right? This was a 100x rally, right? This was a 200% rally, right? Again, this is a 84% rally. So you see that the big bullish moves that come has been weaker and weaker and weaker as we go higher and higher and higher. So it seems like the volatility for Bitcoin is actually decreasing. So even if we do see a retrace that comes, it might not be as punishing as this, right? It might not be as punishing as 94%. The move that comes might be like, I don't know, 40%, maybe 50, and after that we continue higher. This could be a very slow crawl up, but my point being that for Bitcoin, we just don't see, in terms of a technical analysis perspective based on classical chart patterns, we just don't see the bullish reversal coming in yet, right? There's no bullish reversal chart pattern, right? Again, you can argue that this was the inverse head and shoulders that came, right? And then this was it, and we should be going much, much higher from here, right? For sure. But I don't really like the fact that this is a higher high, right? So I'm a bit conflicted about this, but we've already retested the support very nicely, and there's a big bounce coming on. So I'm like, okay, this could be it, this could be it for Bitcoin. Again, when the halving came in 2020, right? Were there any classical chart patterns? Yeah, look at this. Beautiful symmetrical triangle that came in. That's it. Boom, we're out, right? This was quite tricky, but eventually, if you put more attention to detail, you'll be able to see it. Again, over here, in terms of classical chart patterns, right? There was a falling channel, and we broke the falling channel. Yeah, we came down and took out these lows, but eventually, after breaking the falling channel, this was the start, right? And Bitcoin went up right after we broke. How many percent did we rise? 73x, which is about 7,000%, right? And this was during the 2016 halving. The next time was over here, right? Were there any clear tradable chart patterns for Bitcoin? To be honest, there actually was, right? Falling channel, we broke out. Again, if you were to zoom into the smaller time frames, let's just zoom into the daily so that you can see it, right? So that we can see it. Hey, bro. Okay, let's go to 2011, 2012, right? So, falling channel, we broke out. And after that, there was a consolidation over here. This was an ascending triangle that came. Valley 1, Valley 2, breakout, right? And even after that, there was something like a symmetrical triangle as well, right? Attention to detail, you'll be able to see it. A, B, C, D, this was something like an E. That's it, blast off. Woohoo! Right. Again, you can also argue that this was something like a squeeze as well, right? A, B, C, D, E. Woohoo! Blasted off, right? So I'm a classical chart pattern trader. I look for chart patterns and I trade the chart patterns. Again, even over here, right? You can see. You see this? A, B, C, D, E. Woo! Right. Yeah. So over here, where is that? Where is it? Inverse head and shoulders. So we're gonna go with this. Again, even I am not really that confident calling this the inverse head and shoulders because it's a higher high. It's just slightly higher high, right? I mean, of course we can ignore it, but the higher high plus the weekly skinny pink line is kind of bothering me. So yeah, but anyway, we don't have any clear targets towards the downside, and we also do not have any clear targets towards the upside. We're just only aware of the resistance area, right? The resistance area is around 38,000, right? So because this was where the head and shoulders was. Do you see this? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, collapse. Now we're heading towards where the previous support was, right? Support once broken becomes resistance. So we're heading towards resistance. So we're expecting a break eventually. But where is the chart pattern? Yeah, inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, okay. So we'll run with this. The inverse head and shoulders is in. So yeah. Anyway, again, like I was saying, every time we have a rally, there will always be a correction. It's just that the harder we rally, the harder we fall, right? So this is not exactly what I would call as hard. This will be like medium soft. Medium soft kind of a rally. So we might have a medium soft kind of a correction, right? We might get it. But there's something yeah, again, it's very green to me. Everything is very green to me. So I would still expect potentially more upside. But again, I'm not really sure though. So yeah, we're proceeding very cautiously because nothing goes up forever. Eventually, there will be a dip, right? So yeah, we're waiting for that dip, if and when it comes. If and when it comes, right? But yeah, this looks like we're going higher. But anyway, after January 2024 rolls around, I suspect that we are going to do what we have previously done, right? January rolls around, we rise. Sure, over here, this was almost a 200x, right? That came over here. This was a 46x, right? Over here, the very top was a 7x, 240 something, 7. I think the next time it comes, it might not be as interesting anymore, right? We might just get a very slow rise up, 200% from January 2024. Again, we're not entirely sure. So yeah, again, the volatility has been decreasing for Bitcoin. So yeah, there we go. That's our take. We think that January 2024 would be a good idea to think about. Again, this is not investment advice. To think about allocating some mullah into BTC. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a pre-Bitcoin halving by yours truly. Give this channel a subscribe and yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it. Ta-ta!